Welcome everybody to the third race of Sprint Season 11, and we are here at Brands Hatch for qualifying. And we are currently spectating Radovan Zankel in the BMW. And we'll be seeing who takes the flag first to set the first flying lap. Well, it looks like it'll be Abe who started and came out first. Will qualify first and finish first. At least that's the only way in order to make it not happen. But we can ride on board with him to see how he starts his lap. Very short run towards the first corner, dipping straight down. Obviously the game not showing how extreme the drop is, and shifting down quite aggressively down to first gear, up shifting, short shifting up into second, and another short run until you hit with a left-hander. Not going too wide there, otherwise it's very easy to invalidate your lap. And a very weird braking zone here for a lot of drivers, not knowing really where to brake or where to accelerate. Abe knowing this track very, very well and continuing on under the bridge. And now a nicely, quite quick sweeping right-hander, using all the curb, braking down to third, using not too much of the exit curve there actually. Down to third again, hoping to not bounce over the curb too much, hoping to not clip the grass that will spin you around. Looking like a pretty alright lap, though a little bit off counter steer definitely here and there. And getting the power down as soon as possible, and that is a very short lap around Brands Hatch, and hoping to set the baseline quite high. 123.2 is the lap time to beat. And so far, nobody setting a valid lap that's quicker. Sven Viviki setting a 124. Spencer Brown's beaten that with a 124.1. Ganahari Hutama at 125.3. Ben Koo will be next across the line. That is an invalid lap for him. And Radovan Zankel a 124.1. Not 121. Pacello Demano 125.0. Then comes... Oh no, Benjamin Koo was not was an invalid lap. Okay. Sir Plurk 124.0. Ooh, a little bit of a slower lap than usual for the Honda driver. And he'll be hoping to improve that by the end of this qualifying session. Obviously, currently, Sir Plurk leading the championship in the GT3. So, not just... There's only the GT3, so I'm not sure why I had to mention that. Currently leading the championship ahead of Eric Giselle. As last race, Eric getting demoted down into second place due to the collisions with Serd. And therefore Serd getting that win in Nürburgring, as Abe sets the fastest lap. No, he doesn't. Eric Giselle sets the fastest lap, 123.0. Pretty close so far between the top two. But Abe improving on his lap already a whole 10th up. We'll see if he's able to take that position away from Eric Giselle. As Spencer Brown setting an invalid lap that would have been quick. Would have been quicker than his last lap. Dries Rahal setting a 124.2. Benjamin Koo finally setting a valid lap. 124.4. Sven Viviki also setting a slower lap than his previous best. A 127.5 is his last lap. Definitely a little bit too far off his best. Piccolo Di Mano also setting... Oh, we already saw that. Anthony Camacho 125.7. Currently in 11th, but last out of all the people who have set a valid lap. So he'll be hoping to improve that, and he's not doing that so far. Abe Santama did improve on his time, but not enough. A 123.047, only 200ths of a second separated him and Eric Giselle. Eric Giselle now setting up to finish a out lap. What is he doing? He is just chilling, waiting for people to pass by to get himself a bigger gap. That's what he's doing. Spencer Brown setting a 123.7, a very good lap that has now put him in 3rd place, as he is... why is the camera doing this? He is crawling down the hill. What is this camera? Okay, interesting. Yeah, he's crawling down the hill. Not sure what that was about. 123.7. And he's ahead of Serge Pluk, who's not improving. I wonder why he's having the problems that he's having in that Honda. The lone Honda today. Yeah, Sven Viviki coming across the line now to improve by 0.3 in the Lamborghini. Ahead of Benjamin Koo and up into 8th place. Radovan Zankel also improving and up into 5th place ahead of Dries Verhulst at 123.8. Most of the people in, well, everybody in the top 6 in the 23s now. And I think if you get into the 23, you are at a very high chance of making up a lot of positions, like Ganahari Hutawa is right now. He's going 0.2 up on his 124.2. Well, he's going to be 100% hoping to get up into the 23s, which will be very good for him. Definitely very good for him. Oliver Ewing, 7th right now. Last lap was an improvement. It was a 124.1. He only needs 0.2 in order to get up there. As Eric Giselle invalidating his lap. It was a purple through the first couple of corners until he did invalidate. Abe not improving, but not going slower either. So not sure where that pace has disappeared to. Benjamin Koo, he's 0.3 up as he comes across the final corner. Losing a little bit of time there, losing about 0.2 of a second. Is he still going to improve ahead of Sven Viviki? No, he's not. But it is a 124.3, which is improvement in his eyes. Lars Buis was improving. He has not set a valid lap yet. Driving for Blue Hawk Racing. And hoping to get up there and stop being last. Andrew Priatko already 2 to 3/10 up, though as obviously commentator's curse has it, he has lost all that time as soon as I went on him and actually invalidated the lap. So good on me for ruining another race. No, another qualifying session. Lars Buer is finally setting a valid lap. It's a 124.94. Puts him up into 14th place. Not last. Definitely not where he would want to be. Obviously, any driver right now on the grid would like to be in Eric's position. Up in first. But would you want to be in Eric's position right now? Knowing that you're going to have to start next to Abe no matter what. Would you want to be in his position? I'm not sure. But Eric is improving as it stands. Obviously, it is about a 100th improvement, which is the fine margins that you have to play with as he comes across the line. Will it be a 22? Yes, it is, just barely, but a 22.9. Now that puts a 10th, about even less than a 10th, between him and Abe. Though Abe sneaking in one tiny little purple corner there, which might multiply over this lap, especially as he did it just before the straight, and he is going purple again. That 100th of a second. Actually, no. How many hundredths does he need? He needs... I'm trying to count this now. He needs 800ths of a second in order to get ahead of Eric. And currently he's going a 10th up, which would put him as on 22.947. He's 2/10 up. A 122.8 is in sight. And Eric might get his qualifying session ruined yet again by the man in the McLaren with 8 minutes to go. Comes across the line. A 122.882. And now the fight continues. 800th of a second separates him and Eric in P2. And it is also a yellow sector 2 for Abe. With Eric taking purple, sector 1 and sector 2. With the biggest difference of them all, Eric losing out in the final sector by about a 10th, which is not what you want to be doing. Spencer Brown coming into the pits. Currently fastest lap, a 123.7. Radovan's ankle wanting to get that margin down. Cyril Pluch as well, going 3/10 up. Wanting to get definitely much closer to Eric and Abe. As Eric now going a 10th up. I'm not going to go on board with him, because otherwise he will have a horrible crash, as most of the times that happens. And Radovan's ankle not improving this lap. Dries Verhulst behind. 123.9, closest driver in his sight is Radovan's ankle, 200ths of a second away. He does not improve. Serd Pluch next to come across the line. He's 3/10 up, a 123.1, only 2/10 away. No, 1.4 away from Eric Giselle, who was going purple. And as I said, I am not gonna be going on board with him just for the sake. Oh my god, he invalidated his lap. Right, well, Anthony Camacho currently last on the grid, on the track. Will he improve? It does look like he will improve. A 125.1 turns into a 124.7 and up into 13th place. Good stuff by Anthony Camacho. And I don't think Abe is feeling too confident with his time, as he is come back out again. Even though he is P1, he still would like to improve, as he sets up his lap quite nicely here to come across the line to start a brand new flying lap. Is it safe to now go on board? Eric Giselle going a 10th up, and he does improve, and there's 400ths of a second now separating him and P2 of Abe Santema. Why am I saying it like that? Everybody says it like that, and I never say it like that. Abe Santema. As Eric comes into the pits, feeling pretty satisfied, I think, with that lap. Although Sector 1, again, not too great. Simracing taking Sector 1 away from all of them. Eric bringing that gap down in the last sector down to only 100th, and bringing that gap in the middle sector by about a 10th, which is where Abe lost all of his time, and he's losing it again. As he goes into the gravel, and oof. And he comes across the line. An invalid lap for him, and he will have to go again. Now remember, this is a very short circuit, probably the shortest circuit on our calendar. 122.8 is the fastest lap, and the rest of the tracks are going to be quite long, except for Zolder, which has a fastest lap of about a 126, 127. And Abe, yet again, not improving. Eric is going about a 10th up in the first sector, which I shouldn't probably look at. Radovan Zankel going a 10th up as well, as he is trying to get ahead of Spencer Brown for P4 and to stay ahead of Dries Verhulst. Ooh, a little bit of a moment there. I don't know why that was a voice break as well. Ooh, a big moment there for Radovan Zankel. As the rest fail to get up there, so maybe we can go on board with Eric. It's a horrible thing to do, but you know what? On the onboard we can see Eric currently 2/10ths up, and he's not going to be 2/10ths up after that, I don't think. As he comes towards the final corner, he only really needs about 100th or 2 in order to solidify this lap, and guess what? He does not get it. But we can continue to go on board with him as he comes through the first corner. Right. You see, it was a really bad idea to spectate the person who's improving on their lap. A really bad idea. Andrew Priatko going a 10th up as well. Won't be enough to get himself ahead of Pacholo Domano as it stands. As Abe going a 10th quicker through the first sector now. And this is bad news for Eric, as this is the final lap anybody will be doing currently. And Abe looking to dethrone Eric Giselle. 400ths of a second separating these two. As one of the only people currently out on track. Actually, the only person out on track is Abe Santama. He's got the whole track to himself to try and improve and to get ahead of Eric Giselle. Oh, and it looks like he might be doing it. No, he goes onto the grass. Highly slow and gripless as he comes towards the line. Any hundredth will get him ahead of Eric, and it is not an improvement, and he has to settle for second place. But still on the front row. So nothing to be ashamed of there at all. Now who's... It's two people. What? Oh. I swear there was a couple of people out on the track. I saw it on my track map. Only Priatko currently just chilling on the side of the road, not wanting to return back to the pits. And that is it for the qualifying session. As we look at the... Oh, that's what happens. The game doesn't think that they're in the pits, so it uses a not pit camera. Like, this is Dries, this is Gunnar Hardy, this is Abe. It just doesn't think that they're in the pits. So you know what? We can have a good look at the Grand Prix entrance. And if you have any predictions for the race, do drop them in the chat. As we can go through the grid now. Eric starts on pole position, ahead of Abe Santama, and then comes Sir Pluch, the current championship leader. And then Spencer Brown in 4th place, and Radovan Zankel in 5th. Dries Verhulst starting in 6th, and Oliver Ewig starting in 7th. Then goes Gunahadu Hutawa and Sven Viviki. Benjamin Koo in 10th place. Then Pacholo Demano and Andrew Priatko. Anthony Camacho in 13th. Gianluca De Luca in 14th. And Lars Buis for Blue Hawk Racing starting in last. As we get ready for the race. And when is the race going to start? And hopefully it's not this hot. 29 degrees and 37 degree track temperature. Wowzers, it's going to be hot. And it is still as hot. There is no rain. And we are ready to get racing. Abe on top. Well, we'll see how true that statement is once the race starts and once the race ends, and we'll see if he's truly on top and if he can muster his way around Eric Giselle for P1 and also protect himself, defend himself against the hungry Serd Pluch behind, who is fighting for the championship and does not want to be giving up that position to Abe at any point. But just a reminder, these people, these drivers are fighting for a $50 prize pool. They have all paid $2 to be in this championship. And they also get a Go Setup subscription if they are in the top 3. So, you know, there is a little bit of reason to be racing here. And also, if you do want to get yourself a Go Setup or a subscription, there's a link down and below. It is a great way to support our sponsors and to support us as well. And also like and subscribe, since that is free to do. But Brands Hatch in the dry. with very hot weather. No mandatory tire change. Only a mandatory refuel with fixed refuel time. What could go wrong? The tire wear most likely going to be absolutely through the roof. And some people might not change tires, which I don't think would be the smart thing to do at all, as you know, you only waste an extra 5 seconds, not 5 minutes, 5 seconds to, you know, probably gain a lot more than 5 seconds over the whole race, since, you know, on older tires, at the end of the hour, you're most likely going to be doing 124s, very high 124s if you're in the top 3. If you change tires, you're going to be doing 123s, especially if you're going half fuel, half fuel. So, kind of makes sense to change tires, since you'll be gaining about a second per lap. And that 5 seconds will only take 5 laps to work out. To just make sense. In terms of the track, it's a pretty narrow track with a lot of grass on the edge, so if you do get forced wide, there is a very high chance that you are going to spin, and hopefully people do know what yellow flags are and do know how to properly handle themselves when they have spun, which means getting off the racing line and applying the brakes. Do not spin out onto the track and go rolling down the hill just to get collected by half the field, and instead of it being a 15 driver race, it being a 2 driver race, which would be not fun, but I think it would be fun for P2, as Eric Giselle now finally gets underway for the formation lap. It would definitely be way more fun for P2, since it would be most likely one of the underdogs. A very short track. I do have to emphasize that. Very, very short. I think it could only get shorter than this if they added Summit Point to ACC. Oh my god, what's happened to Anthony Camacho? Why is he back in the pits? Okay, it looks like he might have had a hardware problem. I'm not really sure why anybody would choose to be in the pits for the start. It could be that he's trying to avoid the carnage. And yet again, Windows trying to tell me something. And finally now, going side by side through the final corner, Eric Giselle will be hoping to get a blisteringly fast start. Ahead of Abe Santama, as now they come towards the marshal, who holds the green flag, and the lights going green in just a little while. There they are. Eric Giselle getting a pretty good start. Abe already behind. Well, not already. He is behind. Sir Plurk trying to apply some pressure into the early parts. What's happened? There is one of the Blue Hawk McLarens that has completely spun off. As Radovan Zankel actually up into P3 ahead of Sir Plurk, and a little bit of contact there. And Dries Verhulst already tumbling down into last place with a lot of damage on his car. Anthony Camacho being let out as Abe Santiman out ahead of Eric Giselle, getting a little bit of a tap from the Porsche as Eric Giselle a little bit under pressure from Radovan Zankel behind us. Radovan Zankel trying to possibly go and get that P1, especially if Eric and Abe do collide, which looks like they might be doing. Radovan Zankel going to the inside of Eric Giselle, the pole sitter. A little bit of contact there again. Sir Plurk now on the inside. A very quick job by him as Oliver Ewig also looking to overtake Spencer Brown and maybe Radovan Zankel. No, he doesn't. Oliver Ewig only ahead of Spencer Brown. That is contact, as everybody actually avoids them. And it's a whole gaggle of cars now as Dries Verhulst in the background. They're going 3 wide into the final corner. Oliver Ewig, Pachola Demano, Andrew Priantko trying to force their way through. And Oliver Ewig back up into 11th place. Now Radovan Zankel still fighting for P3. Yeah, still a lot of carnage. Still a lot of carnage going on. As Radovan Zankel behind Sir Plurk, falling a little bit behind. Sir Plurk now on the back of Eric Giselle. As Eric Giselle falling back from Abe Santimer already. A 1.5 second lead Abe Santimer has. We'll see how long he can keep that up for. Probably for the rest of the race. As Sir Plurk not catching too quick as Eric Giselle completely misses the corner. And that is Sir Plurk up into P2. Radovan Zankel up into the podium position. And Sven Mavicki, okay, no, he's not. He wasn't close enough to Eric in order to earn that position from him. But Sven Mavicki himself is up into 5th place. That is a 4-place gain from the start, as he's ahead of Spencer Brown, who was in that collision with Oliver Ewig. As Eric Giselle going off the track again. What is going on with that Porsche? Losing all sort of confidence. We see that happen way too often. Whenever you make one mistake, it usually starts to multiply. You lose the confidence of your driving. And you just start to make more and more mistakes until you either get back into the rhythm or you retire from the race with a terminal damage. But we can cut to this battle in P13, and probably more in P11 and P10, as Oliver Ewig fighting with Andrew Priantko and Pachola Demano. Lars Buis hanging in the back there, as Dries Verhulst wanting to come to this battle as well, as he is fighting with Anthony Camacho for not being last. And it is McLaren Festival going on here. It is Oliver Ewig, Andrew Priantko, and Pachola Demano all in the McLarens. Also, Lars Buis in the McLaren. So is Dries Verhulst. As Sven Vivicki, yellow flags. What's happened to him? He's lost quite a lot of positions, and now he's going to be in the way of this battle. It's going to Haru Hutama gets ahead of him. And look at this. This is what happens when you lose these positions, these crucial positions on such a narrow track. As Eric Giselle, well, I'm not sure what's happened to him, but he has pulled over to the side of the track, and one could only think that he's going to be out of this race. It's the second time this weekend that Eric Giselle has lost all sorts of confidence and tumbles out of a race fully. As Benjamin Koo up into 5th place from 10th He's behind Spencer Brown for 4th. Ooh. Big moment there. And another big moment for Benjamin Coos. What's going on with that Ferrari? The Ferrari not looking to be an easily tameable car. But this is the battle that we're all looking at. Pacholo Domano, Andrew Priatko, Oliver Ewig, and Lars Buis all in a battle. Sven Mavicki also getting pulled into this. And it is a 5-way battle for 8th place. Ooh. That's going to give quite the battle to Lars Buis as Pacholo Domano making that mistake. Andrew Priatko now trying to get that position back from Oliver Ewig. That is contact again, but Andrew Priatko actually setting Oliver Ewig straight. Though probably causing him quite a lot of damage on the side of that McLaren. And oh my god, Lars Buis making a mistake, going very wide there, an easy mistake to make. As Oliver Ewig hunting that position back. That's gonna Hardy Hutama behind Gianluca De Luca. Was about a 10th away. He is going to be much closer here as well, as Gianluca De Luca making a little bit of a mistake into the first corner, out of the first corner, and going nicely side by side. That might also pull Sven Mavicki up into 7th place. It doesn't, but Sven Mavicki was definitely looking at making that move. Fortunately, just not enough space in order to continue behind Gunnar Hardy Hutama, as Gunnar Hardy Hutama promotes himself up into 6th place. I'm driving without force feedback. That's really unenjoyable, and I'm done with this game. That is the reason why Eric Giselle having to leave, as Sven Mavicki trying to overtake on the grass, and Gianluca De Luca having a little bit of a pace problem. But now Sven Mavicki, because of that possible overtake, getting very much pressured from behind from Andrew Priatko. As Andrew Priatko now, because of that, has fallen a little bit behind and is now in arm's reach of Pacholo Domano. Pacholo Domano might be looking to the inside, but not doing that move just yet. Yes, Anthony Camacho behind Lars Buis, trying to make the move. A successful move, that is, on the Blue Hawk car. As Lars Buis making another big mistake there, compromising his exit. Dries Verhulst behind with a lot of damage, also trying to get in this battle as Anthony Camacho, very much letting Lars Buis take all the gravel on the outside, as Anthony Camacho up into 12th place, and that is another position gained for the Porsche driver, as Lars Buis will now have to try and defend from his teammate behind, and maybe even a little bit of team orders in place. So then Dries Verhulst can set off to clear the field, as Lars Buis making the same mistake again, going off the track at the same place. Not looking to be the strongest out there at the moment. Andrew Priatko still in a battle with Gianluca De Luca. Gianluca De Luca making a huge mistake, and Andrew Priatko up into 7th place. Minted. Looking good. As Gianluca De Luca having to defend from Sven Viviki. Gianluca De Luca, that is a lot of pace loss from him. I'm not sure what's going on. The EOS driver just not able to compete at his usual level. As he goes off the track again, Sven Viviki now might be looking to go round the outside into the final corner, as Gianluca De Luca making it hard. He should be defending quite nicely there. This will bring Pocholo Di Mano into the fight as well, as Oliver Ewig might try and get all of them, especially if they continue to battle. Sven Viviki making the move successfully. Oliver Ewig ahead of Pocholo Di Mano heading into the first corner. A beautiful move by the Vivid Global Racing car, as he now sets his eyes on Gianluca De Luca. A big moment there out of the hairpin. As Pocholo Di Mano thinking of getting that position back, and all of them wanting to get the position in front, but not able to do that, as the narrowest track in this game, most likely. Is it the narrowest track? I mean, we've got Imola, Zolder, which are really... No, Zolder is probably much more narrow compared to this. But this is horrible to overtake on. As you can see, they are having to go bumper to bumper without really having any space or time in order to get past. It's going to Hadi Hutama. He's not facing the right way, and he has lost quite a lot of positions, as now he tries to get back going ahead of Anthony Camacho. But we still look on as Pocholo Di Mano making a tiny little bit of contact with Oliver Ewig into the final corner, which might have unsettled Oliver Ewig or made him anxious, as now Pocholo Di Mano ahead, while Oliver Ewig exploring the gravel of the final corner. And oh, contact there. And Pocholo Di Mano spun round, and now will unfortunately have to spend quite a lot of time getting back up, as he is in last place. Let's have a look at that collision. As Lawrence Buers not having the time of his life, as now he is back down in the pits. And ooh, Oliver Ewig coming in a little bit too hot there, and spinning Pocholo Di Mano right round. And now Pocholo Di Mano will suffer quite a bit of damage on the back of his car, as Gianluca De Luca and Pocholo Di Mano both making the same mistake in the same corner. As Gianluca De Luca also retiring from the race. Histories Behold still carrying the same amount of damage as he did, as he had in the first lap. Still chugging on in 11th place. As most of the race now will start to calm down. It's Ganahari Utama trying to catch the back of Oliver Ewig for 8th place. And Ganahari Utama really gaining on the back of Oliver Ewig in the last couple of corners. As the 40-minute mark scrolls on by, in just a little while we can really start to see most of the people start to settle in and just focus on finishing this race without making any of the mistakes that they might have done in the beginning or throughout these 20 minutes, as Gianluca De Luca and Eric Giselle both having terminal issues. Lars Buis as well, and and Vilverinen leaving after seeing qualifying. Not really much to talk about in the top positions. Currently Abe running 7/10ths quicker than Serd Plug behind Radovan Zankel in a 1:25.3. Spencer Brown catching quite quickly, about a second quicker every single lap. So only time can tell when he's going to be able to get ahead. And Spencer Brown losing a little bit of pace on Radovan's ankle. And actually rolling about within a tenth of each other. So Spencer Brown not getting too close to Radovan's ankle, but Radovan's ankle still having to be at bay in case he does improve on his laps and does get closer. Dries Verhulst now coming into the pits, the first person to come into the pits in this race. And for a good reason. He's got quite a lot of damage on his McLaren. As we can go back to Sven Viviki, who is making progress on Project Overtake Andrew Priatko for 6th place. As Dries Verhulst comes out of the pits. Anthony Camacho did pit, but that was... that does not count. You know, he started from the pits, didn't actually pit. Best thing we can do currently is wait until the action rolls around. Spencer Brown, yet again, he is trying to go quicker. He is going quicker, but not consistently quicker than Radovan's ankle. Radovan's ankle, on the other hand, is able to just continue putting in the same laps that he's been doing for the last couple of laps. And just meticulously working on it. Ganahari Hutama also deciding it's a good time to come into the pits. As so does Anthony Camacho. And we'll see when the rest start to follow as well, as it might be a sign to start to do your pit stops. Though I think a lot of people have just put in 50-50 fuel or 60-40 fuel, depending on the strategy that they're running. As Benjamin Koo going a little bit slow. It comes from under the bridge. I remember these drivers, only having to put in about any liters of fuel, and they will have to do 25 seconds of stationary standing, no matter how much fuel they put in. So that is that. Ganahari Hutama coming out of the pits. Anthony Camacho did as well. Spencer Brown getting closer to the back of Radovan Zankel. And now 3/10 away from getting that podium position. Both of them having a pretty poor lap, but Radovan Zankel having a worse lap than Spencer Brown, as Paciolo Di Mano deciding to show us himself. Spun around. But we continue to go onto this battle as Spencer Brown going side by side, or at least trying to force his way side by side with Radovan Zankel. As Radovan Zankel, where will he go to defend this position from Spencer Brown? It looks like he doesn't really move anywhere. Spencer Brown not able to overtake. As I said, a very narrow track this is. So hard to open up any sort of opportunities. But Spencer Brown getting super close to the rear. Both of them trying to not die or kill the other person. We can go on board with Spencer Brown as he looks to the inside very quickly, deciding that it is not the way to go. And Radovan Zankel peeling into the pits, not wanting to stay behind Spencer Brown, stay in front of Spencer Brown too much. Benjamin Koo also coming into the pits. So did Paciolo Di Mano. As Oliver Ewig now gets promoted up into 5th place. And when will our leader come into the pits? It doesn't look like it's now. And he will have to fight Radovan Zankel, who's now out of the pits. He will have to lap him, which will definitely put a little bit of a strain on his race. And Spencer Brown now coming into the pits, and we'll see. So is Andrew Priatko. We'll see where Radovan Zankel is. He's 6th place right now. He is just in front of Abe, and he's just coming through the final sector in a little bit. Spencer Brown now stopped. Oliver Ewig also coming to a stop. So is Andrew Priatko. Radovan Zankel coming through the 3rd last corner. Spencer Brown still in the pits. Radovan Zankel now rounding towards the final corner. And where is Spencer Brown? Is he finally going to get dropped from his jacks? Well, you know what? It doesn't look like he is. Radovan Zankel will be taking that position back. Spencer Brown spending a little bit too much time in the pits And yeah, 6 whole seconds more he spent in the pits than Radovan's ankle. And now he is 7.3 seconds behind the man in the BMW who's looking to get his first podium in this season. Cedric Plech also finally into the pits. That Honda must have had dying tires by the end of the stint. And now getting back going and out the pits. It's a 32-second pit stop. Radovan's ankle will not be able to capitalize on that at all. And Abe will be next to come into the pits. And look at that timing. I was just going to ask if he's going to come into the pits. Yes, he does. Right in there. And will definitely be a switch of tires, as it looks like he's been struggling a little bit for tire wear. He did also say before the race that the tire wear on this track will be horrible. Yeah, and there's a pit window. Completely forgot about the pit window myself. It's because of the multi-class race. The multi-class race doesn't have pit window. This one does. So that's why Abe leaving it until the final 3 minutes off the pit window in order to come in. And we'll see how close Cedric can get. Remember, it was a 12-second gap, 12.3 second gap between him and Abe Santama before they came into the pits. Now Abe coming out of the pits, he did a 5/10 quicker pit stop than Cedric Plech. He spent 6/10 less in the pits, in the actual pits, and that is it. I think Cedric Plech has lost quite a lot of time to Abe just during that one pit stop. Ayo, Cuddles, let's go. How are you doing? We're just having a pretty quiet race at Brands Hatch. Looks like a lot of people leaving to do that 12-hour of LFM. No, not 12-hour of LFM. 12 hours of Watkins Glen, if I'm correct, at LFM. So, making a little bit of sense why there is not too many people out there tonight, but still enough to keep it nice and entertaining. Ganahari Hutama behind Sven Viviki. Remember, he was fighting with Andrew Priatko, so he's had a very slow stop, did Ganahari Hutama. Just saw the stream and wanted to check in. Abe absolutely smashing. Of course he is. What would a race be without Abe smashing it? I don't think it would be our race, that's for sure. As he looks on to try and become a 6-time champion at VGTR. You know, soon enough he'll beat Valentino Rossi's 9 championship wins just at VGTR. That would be really cool. That'd be really, really cool. Don't know why that would happen, but that'd be cool. But definitely makes for a less exciting race, as Spencer Brown able to make up quite a lot of time. I'm really not sure how that happened. Spencer Brown absolutely flying. Remember, there was about a 5-second gap between them, or a 7-second gap between them when Spencer Brown pitted, and so did Radovan Zankel. Radovan Zankel making a huge mistake. And that might just cost him the position a little bit quicker than he would expect. Spencer Brown right on the rear end of the BMW. It's a huge rear end on the BMW as he tries to go and make the move. As he goes left, right, maybe thinking there might be an opportunity arising at the hairpin. He goes to the inside, he looks, but nothing to be done there. Just trying to unsettle Radovan's ankle. Well, getting very close there to the inside. Also not making the move, staying nice and patient, knowing that there is 20 laps to go. 20 minutes to go, about 19 laps to go. And knowing that he can take his time to try and force Radovan's ankle into that crucial mistake. As Spencer Brown, knowing the etiquette of racing side by side in the GT3s, knowing that any small mistake, any small bump, especially in this game, can cause catastrophic consequences for both drivers usually. As Spencer Brown looking to the inside again, just pulling out at the last second and just hoping that he can fill up Radovan's ankle's rear view mirrors in order to just make him that little bit anxious. Remember, this is the fight for the final podium position. And he goes to the inside, and again, not making the move, just trying to force Radovan's ankle into a mistake, and that is the mistake. There it was, going into the gravel, but Spencer Brown just a little bit too far back, and he does turn him around, but he waits. And I don't think that was anywhere close to intentional, but now that has brought in an extra variable to the fight. And there is Benjamin Koo, now also fighting for third place. And he's been killing it. He's been doing quite a lot of quick laps, has Benjamin Koo. So he is going to be one hell of a pain in the butt for both of these drivers ahead of him. Especially for Spencer Brown, who's definitely got a bit of damage. So does Radovan's ankle. And Spencer Brown now both has to focus on defending and attacking for the rest of this race. As Spencer Brown yet again looking to the inside and maybe getting a little bit frustrated. As he now goes yet again to the inside into the first corner. Not enough. Not enough in order to make the move. He's into the hairpin yet again. He can just carry that little bit more speed, but it does not matter. As again, another crash between these two. Spencer Brown, oh, not having the time of his life. Neither is Radovan's ankle, as both of them losing heaps of time. And Spencer Brown retiring straight from this race. Not feeling like he's cut out. And just straight up rage quitting. as Oliver Ewig is going to be getting closer to Benjamin Koo for third place. The yet again final position in on the podium, and it looks like that position has been cursed. Spencer Brown still in the pits, not wanting to reveal himself out into the world. And Oliver Ewig now very much thinking of getting that position. Just thinking. There's the last 15 minutes of this race to go. Still all to play for the final podium position. As Oliver Ewig has his eyes set on a particular target. Up in front, Benjamin Koo taking that inside line and moving straight to the outside. Not really allowing Oliver Ewig to go anywhere except stay behind. And oh, okay, Benjamin Koo just deciding to eat the floor there for a second. There's also in the background Sven Viviki getting closer to the back of Radovan Zankel, who's carrying quite a lot of damage on his car after those collisions with Spencer Brown. But we're still spectating this battle for third place as Oliver Ewig might try and set it up to go for the move into the first corner. He's closer than ever. He's 2/10 away. Benjamin Koo sticking to the inside, and Oliver Ewig, well, I don't think he would be able to do much there. As he stays in third, and Pachola Dimano, yellow flag, tumbling all the way down to last place. And oh. I saw a yellow flag with Abe, thinking he might have made a mistake. Sven also close to the back of Radovan's ankle. Looks like Oliver Ewig has closed the gap yet again to Benjamin Koo after that fight into the first corner. Lost him quite a bit of time. But Oliver Ewig further back than he was before, and giving Benjamin Koo hopes to stay in third place. And oh, that's even bigger hopes for Benjamin Koo that he's going to be staying in third place. There's Oliver Ewig going straight into the gravel trap. We can cut to the battle between Sven Viviki and Radovan Zankel. As Sven Viviki again losing a bit of time. A lot of time. To Radovan's ankle. As the final 10 minutes of this race tick on by, and we have about 9 laps left, I think. 8 laps left of this race. And oh, Radovan's ankle making a huge mistake. Going wide, but Sven Viviki not able to hang on to that position. And Radovan's ankle, thankfully for him, able to stay ahead of the man in the Lamborghini. Just for the time being. There's Radovan's ankle making again a mistake there. A mistake here. Just a little bit of loss of traction. And Sven Viviki still very much pressuring on the BMW to get out of his way. As what is going on? Oh! That's Abe. That's not his usual place. Definitely not the wall. Haven't seen him do that one for a while. Deciding the race is a little bit too boring for him. It's time to explore the surrounding areas. And that's bringing Sir Plurk just that little bit closer. While that has been happening, Radovan's ankle is now behind Sven Viviki. He's down into 8th place. What could have been an amazing race, sadly, is now ending in a way he would not like to see it end. 8th place, 3-place drop from the start. Couple of collisions with the McLaren as well, and now carrying all that damage. Has to settle for 8th behind Sven. Very unfortunate. Oliver Ewig, though, not wanting to end his race on an unfortunate note, and wanting to finish it on the podium, as he has crawled back up behind Benjamin Koo after making that mistake in the first corner. He's got 6 minutes to go, about 5 laps. 5 laps? Yeah, we'll say 5 laps. 5.5 laps to go. And he has been putting in quite the quick times. He's been going about 4/10 quicker per lap compared to Benjamin Koo. And this is where he makes up most of his time through the middle section. He is just able to carry way more speed than Benjamin Koo in that Ferrari. Looks like that Ferrari really unstable. As Oliver Ewig now. Oh, Benjamin Koo blinking a little bit there. There's Oliver Ewig. 4/10 away. He just does not want to make any mistakes, that's for sure. And there is the commentator's curse. Straight into the gravel trap. As in the background, Dries Verhulst has been eating away at the gap between him and Anthony Camacho. This is for 9th place. As Dries Verhulst not having the best sequence of races so far in the season. I think hardware problems last time out. And this time out having that lap 1 incident, which saw him in the wall. And now, all he really wants to do is make up this position. At least make that 1 overtake. As Anthony Camacho having a worse exit out of that corner. But does it really matter? Because the McLaren is a little bit of a boat. It's a little bit of a stone when it comes to straight line speed with the bop. And Dries Verhulst still sticking to the outside. And oh, contact there. And Anthony Camacho completely spun wide. And that is the end of that. As actually Paciolo Di Mano getting ahead of Dries Verhulst as a result of that. So there is still going to be a battle. Dries Verhulst still not over for him. Although he does have his teammate who's running P2 currently behind him. And he will have to let him by as quick as possible And he might be shouting down the mic to impede, block, weave, do everything to slow down Pocholo Di Mano in front. But I'm not sure it will be enough. There's about 2 or 3 more laps to go. I'd say 2. I'm not sure. We can go to Oliver Ewig, who has kinda lost all sorts of confidence. And yeah, will he gain on the back of Benjamin Koo? I'm not really sure. As Abe yet again going slow, and this is where it matters. Will it be 2 more laps? Will it be 1 more lap? I think it'll be 2 more laps, as he's going to come across the line. And in order to start a final lap, the timer has to be at a 1:23 or lower, I think. And he comes across the line at a 1:28, and he is going to be able to do 2 more laps off this race and allow 2 more laps of racing for everybody behind him and everybody who he has not lapped yet, which soon enough will be Radovan Zankel, and also might be Sven Viviki, as Radovan Zankel deciding to explore the hills of Brands Hatch. Not having the best weekend at all, and he is going to have... Oh, Pocholo Di Mano colliding with Serd Pluk while he lapped him. Oliver Ewig. How close is he? How close can he get? Can he gain a second on Benjamin Koo in these final 2 laps? We'll just have to sit here and find out. As Dries Verhulst gets closer to the back of Pocholo Di Mano, the final lap for them. As Abe starts his final lap as well. And Sven Viviki going slow, nothing too terminal. You know, it would be very high and good news for Radovan Zankel if Sven Viviki did have a moment. As Oliver Ewig 2/10 away from Benjamin Koo. They've still got that 1 more lap to go, remember. So, this is the battle for 3rd place on the final lap of the race, as Oliver Ewig going round the outside. He's going to be desperate to get this position. He's into the gravel trap, but not losing a lot of time to Benjamin Koo into the hairpin. Benjamin Koo staying nicely narrow and not losing too much time to Oliver Ewig behind. Pocholo Di Mano, he's also in the final battle here with Radovan Zankel for 8th place. They're 2/10 away, but he's not going to be close enough to get that position as Abe Santom crosses the line to win the race. So does Serd Pluk. He's in 2nd place, and Oliver Ewig still in the battle, a very close battle with Benjamin Koo. 4/10 is the gap, as Benjamin Koo wanting to get his first overall podium in this season. And all he needs to really do is keep it nicely on the track and not make any stupid mistakes. There's only 1 more corner to go. Can he keep Oliver Ewig at bay? Will Oliver Ewig go for a desperate move? Will he go for a desperate dive? I'm not sure he will, but this will be very, very close. And they keep positions. They do keep positions. Both of them very much keep in positions, and that was a very close end to the race. And wow, okay, nice word said in chats. We're not gonna even look at that. But wow, what a close race again for third place, as Benjamin Koo and Oliver Ewig coming together. But in the end, Benjamin Koo still maintaining third place. And Abe Santama winning the race. Third Plug staying in second, which probably will keep him in P1 in the championship, as far as I'm aware. But it might not, due to drop rounds. Yeah, there's a lot of weird calculations which might happen. But nevertheless, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed, do like and subscribe, since it's a free way to support us. And also do be sure to check out Go Setups, a link in the description for all your setup needs. But until then, I'll see you all next time.